There you hear it, the lowdown. Lorenzo Alexander in for his regular Friday visit. Lorenzo, thanks for coming in. I know this is the holiday season. We got a nice surprise just before we came on. A little gentleman named Sean Tachi. He wanted to call, but he's at work, and he just wanted us to pass along a message to you. His wife gave him the green light to name their firstborn after one of his favorite Buffalo Bills of all time, and is coming in April of 2020, Lorenzo Alexander Tachi. Congratulations, man. You're getting people naming their kids after you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. I mean, my son is not even named after me, but that's obviously a huge honor for people to respect the person I am, because, I think it really, you have to go into a lot. I know when I was naming my son, we want the right name. And so for them to respect what I've done and, over the years, that's really cool and humbling experience.
Yeah, it is cool. And we just hope that Mrs. Tachi has a healthy, happy little baby, and I guess they know it's going to be a little boy. I guess right? They already found that out. But yeah, I hope everything goes well with the pregnancy and all that. But that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Congratulations. That's nice. I got to congratulate you. That's nice. You're right. I got 4 sons. None of them are Maryland named after me. Right? Tell you, what do you think, man? The Jets coming into town. You don't need the game.
Right.
Probably going to get some guys a little bit of rest, but that's a tough balancing act, because the moment you take your foot off the gas, you have a chance to show up really flat.
And the good thing about, I guess, our team is that we have a lot of professionals, a lot of guys that have been around the block a little bit and understand that you just can't take your foot all the way off the gas. Obviously, you want to, just kind of coast a little bit in the sense of getting fresh this week. But, from Micah Hyde to Tre'Davious White to Jordan Poyer, those guys really went out there and still practiced on their fundamentals and individual, still had their keys and went through meetings with the focus as if they're going to play, because those guys are going to have limited reps and, some limited exposure as well amongst other starters. But if a guy goes down, you have to go back in the game, right? You have to turn it back on and be ready. So obviously your role will be flipped. So they still prepared as if they're going to play, the entire game, which you have to do every single time.
Here's the big question. Has it affected the reps at practice?
Yeah, most definitely, because the guys that are going to play, I think, the majority of the game, you want them to show well.
Right.
And so you have to give them the opportunity to see the looks, see how the Jets are going to attack us. So when they're out there, it's just not like just throwing them in the game and, handle yours. You want guys to show well and be able to showcase their talents and get the right experience and go out there, because ultimately you want to be able to win the game too. And if you don't give those guys the reps, you definitely set yourself behind in that regard.
Regardless of if, this game matters or not, you guys have already clinched the playoff spot, but you're still cleaning stuff up from the Patriots game. Played them pretty close. Unfortunately, it was a loss. But going back and looking at film, what are some things that you saw from the defense that you guys think needs to be cleaned up in this game ahead of the playoffs?
Biggest thing, physicality at the line of scrimmage in our tackling. I think we had over 50 yards of yak that we given up. So it's not like we weren't fitting the run right. We just weren't physical at the point of attack. And when you have a back like Sony Michel or, Rex, if you tackle and if you don't bring your feet and your hands and your pads, those guys are going to bounce off and have some big explosion plays. And so that's something that we really want to make sure that we shore up as we enter into the first week of the playoffs. So that's not an issue moving forward.
Yeah, you're going to get a chance to do that against the Jets this week. Bad break for the Jets this week. They may see a lot of the Jet killer, Matt Barkley. Remember, he had
he had a great game.
It's got to be like a deja vu all over again for those guys. And Barkley's got to feel pretty good about whatever reps he's going to get, whether it's whatever.
Right, yeah.
He's got to feel good, and probably the team feels good having him out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Has he been taking reps? I mean, how's he looking? What's his vibe?
Yeah, he's definitely been taking reps. I mean, and Matt he's a pro's pro. He prepares all year long, gets the looks. Obviously, in practice, he gets, when we have a game that's on the line, his reps are reduced because Josh is getting all of them, but he's taking the practice squad reps and trying to go through his progressions as he would as if he was out there. And so he's had a lot of opportunities to throw the ball in practice and be competitive. We have a very competitive practice. And so I know he's going to be ready and up for the opportunity to go out there and showcase once again and get an opportunity to play.
As the regular season comes to an end, we wanted to do some superlatives with you, Lorenzo. So let's get into these superlatives. What do you think is your best off-the-field moment from the team in 2019?
For me, it would have to be Thanksgiving Day after we beat the Dallas Cowboys. Coming home, it had to be, 2:30 after you've eaten all this food. and you come off the plane and you have, I don't know, 1,000 people outside, and it's butt cold. It just shows you the passion of this Bills community for the Buffalo Bills, because I couldn't see myself doing that. But they love us. Obviously, we appreciate all the support they've given us. But that's cool, and that's probably the coolest moment off the field.
How good was it to see Cole Beasley in the locker room after that game beating his former team?
Oh,
the
yeah, that was cool.
Cowboys?
Everybody wanted to wait on him. Obviously, he had a huge game. And anytime you're able to go back and beat a team that didn't want to, obviously pay you what you thought you was deserved, to go out, able to go back in there and beat them, it was great. It was great. It was awesome.
What about the biggest surprise on your defensive side of the ball? You've got a lot of guys over there
Yeah,
that
a
play
lot
well.
of-
Your defense has been elite throughout the year.
If I had to pick, if you're going to make me pick one guy, I would say the way Jordan Phillips has really shown up this year, 9.5 sacks. Has been dominant on the line of scrimmage all year, very productive in breaking up stuff. And my 1B, I gotta talk about my guy, Ty Crane, as we call him, but Shaq Lawson. Right. Obviously not getting his option picked up and not allowing that to really affect the way he was going to approach, and he really took it to heart. And continue to grow up in this league. And he's been a guy that I've got to see from his rookie year to his fourth year, and he's really taking leaps and bounds. And you can just see his production, obviously, in the pass game, getting after the quarterback, but also the way he prepares every day and the way he plays the run is one of the tops in the league, I believe.
Right.
What about your biggest surprise on offense? There have been a lot of productive guys on this offense this year, a lot of improvement on the offense. If you had to pick one or maybe even a couple, what pops off to you?
A couple of guys that have popped just because the way the year started off. Obviously, you have, Hall of Famers in the room and Frank Gore and LaShawn McCoy, and the way Devin has really come out as the guy and has toted the rock, and outside of, I think, 2 games that he missed, has been very durable and is very explosive in a lot of different ways. And so I've really been surprised about how fast he's made an impact on our team, having those other guys in the room, and has really kind of stood up and stood out.
Yeah, one of the other things the things that have happened on the field. I mean, you personally, you've seen on the team, you've got a lot of great moments. You're a 10-5 team headed to the playoffs. You got it sewed up early. It's been a fun year. What's been the best on the field moment? What's happened that you're going to remember about this season where you look around and say, "Man, this is pretty cool."
Maybe it hasn't happened yet.
Maybe it hasn't happened yet.
That's a good
do
one.
not know.
The next moment is the biggest. Best moment.
I don't. Yeah, this year, because I've always expected us to be a playoff team, and so it was cool to obviously clinch in Pittsburgh and obviously solidify that moment. But I think we have better things coming. I'm waiting for us to get in the playoffs and actually win a game. I haven't won a game at all in the playoffs, and so I'm looking for that to be my best moment.
Right.
What about best rookie moment? Is there a rookie that stands out to you, or an in-game moment?
Yeah, as soon as I saw this, it has to be Dawson Knox going beast mode on the sideline. Who are we playing, Miami or somebody?
Cincinnati.
He throws 2 or 3 guys down.
That one guy's a bug on a windshield, man. It was great.
Dude, Dawson is, and he would have been my other guy as far as standout as a young guy offensively. But the way he's played this year, being in that tight end, having to block some good DNs, being in the run game, he's your complete tight end, kind of a throwback in a sense, because in this day and age, it almost seems like you have to be one or the other. You have to be a good blocker, or you have to be more of that, glorified receiver as a tight end. And he does a great job of doing both at a high level.
There's so many moments in this season that you look back on, you see glimpses of, and there are a couple of things that group together for me. I think early on, nobody knows how it's going to go.
Right.
You get in there, you're down 16 points in New York before, they score all their points, and then you come back and score more one than them to win it. I think I remember those first 2 weeks, and then you went back to New York and played the Giants.
Right.
And they hit you in the mouth on the first drive. The thing that stands out to me is the 2 consecutive weeks in games you really kind of needed to have to set the tone for the season.
Right.
Josh Allen scored in the same corner of the same end zone in 2 different games, one on a called run, one on a scramble. And you knew the defense was going to be good. You didn't know how good he was going to, and so much rode on how he improved. And that, to me, those 2 moments in 2 different weeks set the tone for, like, this guy is going to get better.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it. And that was, to me, that was like, it set you up for, like, we're 2-0.
Right, yeah.
Let's go. It's going to be.
Yeah, Josh.
We hadn't even had a home game
huge.
yet.
Right, I know it's been great. And I guess some things don't surprise me because I get to see how he works every day. And obviously you guys know him and talk to him, but not around as much as the players are. So I've had confidence in what he was going to be able to do since day one, going back to OTAs and just seeing the growth there. And his mindset, the way he approaches the game is it's just awesome to watch as a guy that's going out of the league to watch a guy that's coming in the league and grabbing it by it and trying to do the everything the right way.
Yeah, and the way this offense has been able to put drives together when it matters most, led by Josh Allen, has just been amazing to watch those fourth quarter drives to be able to put a touchdown together and just march down the field. Watching Josh throw a 53-yard pass to John Brown and score. I mean, these are definitely some highlights in the regular season that stick out to me too.
Yeah. What about your best rookie moment?
My best rookie moment, man.
I'm not talking about your rookie year, 10.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember my
Yeah,
best rookie moment. I don't even know what my rookie moment would be. I kind of talked about them already. The two guys that pop out. I don't know. I mean, it's one.
Seen Ed get his first real sack.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Remember his first sack? That it counted as a sack, but it wasn't necessarily against the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. I mean, they've all done a great job.
Yeah.
Just collectively, how well they've contributed to this team. And I think that's the coolest part, and that's one of the reasons why we're here now. Because oftentimes, you can kind of on paper, what a team is projected to be, and the X factor is how well your young guy is going to play. That first year guy or the guy going into a sophomore season. And so to see how many rookies we have that are contributing to this team at a high level, collectively is the reason why we're probably in the playoffs. Against Pittsburgh with 2 games left to play.
What about your best veteran moment?
That's Frank Gore.
Yeah.
And,
Frank Gore,
obviously he set
games.
setting the record, but it was a game, and he set the tone early for us. It was actually the Giants game.
Yeah, we busted in the end
When
zone.
he's 57, I don't know who he is, but
Listen,
that still plays
He
in my
was
mind.
a hot shot rookie linebacker out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And Frank
Oh,
pushed-
yeah.
Frank
Yeah.
showed him what was up.
He ejected him out of this. Going against Frank, I played against him, so that has been in the back of my mind since day one, and that's one of the, I think, plays and runs that have really defined our season. You talk about being gritty and resilient, in that Giants game. That's really the definition of our football team right there.
Yeah, that was a 16-year running back who's going to the Hall of Fame, telling a rookie linebacker who had some
Get off my lawn.
get off my lawn. Yeah, it was pretty special. I agree 100%. Exactly the moment I was thinking of as well with Frank Gore, or maybe Deion Dawkins catching the touchdown pass.
Yeah,
in
that's
New
pretty
England
cool.
was a good moment too. Those are always fun, the trick plays. But that one right there, as a former player, that one spoke to me deep.
Right, that's an old school play right there.
Yeah, that is a lot of moments.
Yeah.
We had some things, and Kurt Coleman had a statement yesterday in the locker room where he says, "Listen, this resting guys and taking time off and being prepared to play is kind of a media-driven thing." And I kind of caught what he was coming from yesterday. And some of the other guys were like, "What are you talking about? It's not media-driven. We're not the ones sitting here." But here's the thing: guys like Matt Barkley and Kurt Coleman and T.J. Yeldon, they're getting ready to play every week.
Right.
It is not a different week.
Right, yeah.
They have got to be ready. That's why you get 7 figures.
Right.
So you can stay ready, and be prepared.
Yeah.
You don't get the reps.
And that's exactly probably what Kurt, the tone that it
Exactly.
set. Like, guys is going to take the chill out, like the whole team could just chill, that all the starters just hang out, chill, let the backups play.
That ain't the way it works.
No, everybody's mindset is, hey, I got to play in this game because you don't know what's going to happen because we only dress 46 guys.
That's right. And that's the attitude with, you can rest them, but you can't rest everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody got to cover kicks. Somebody cover punts. Somebody's got to, be there.
And
line up.
McDermott said that in the press conference. He was like, "I wish I could sit everybody, but I cannot. We only dress 46."
Right.
Yeah, you wish you could take everybody to
can't.
Bahamas for a week, right?
It's not
Just get in the game,
preseason.
right? Relax at the beach for a minute, But yeah, it really is. It's a mindset that, I may play more or I may be ready to play, but I can't. If I could prepare harder, I would have done that last week when I didn't play. I would have,
Exactly.
that's the mindset, correct?
Correct, yeah. And I think that's what Kurt was talking to. Being a veteran, he understands how hard it is each week, regardless if you're going to be the guy out there getting all 60 reps or a guy that may get 5 or 0. You have to prepare the same way.
All right, so let's hear it. We got the Jets coming in, week 17 of the regular season. You got a chance to go 11-5 on the year. You got the 5 seed locked up. What's the lowdown for the Jets in
Right.
Buffalo this weekend.
Well, this was a weird week, and I kind of got away from, I guess, some of my traditional lowdowns as far as how to beat them, and kind of looked at the big picture of this game, kind of what we already talked about. And what did I start off with? You gotta help me out.
Experience. Lowdown number one.
Experiences. And what I mean by that is just what we kind of were alluding to. When you have guys like Kurt Coleman, obviously he's a vet. TJ Yeldon's a vet, but you start talking about a Jaquan or a Corey Thompson that are going to have opportunities to play a significant amount of reps, whether it's linebacker or safety, maybe some offensive linemen getting in there. We talk about Matt Barkley playing. Allowing these guys to get some real live game reps that most of them haven't seen outside of special teams, haven't seen any reps since preseason.
Right.
Yeah.
And, my train of thought is that this season, obviously now we're going to postseason. Now we're talking about game 17, hopefully game, 18, 19, and 20. And that is more strain on the starters' bodies. And so you hate to see it, but at some point there may be an injury that is unforeseen because we're going into additional play. And that experience is going to help that guy, that backup that got in this week 17 play versus the Jets, some live reps.
Yep.
Now he can step in, okay, at least I have a little bit of a game speed, and I don't have to think about what it was like in preseason when I was out there, fighting for a job.
And it's interesting, too, that the Bills, you talk about guys resting guys and who's gotten reps, who hasn't. The Bills are one of the league leaders in the fewest people they've used in game.
Right.
57 guys have seen snaps for this team. There's some like the Jets. The Dolphins have seen 85,
Gosh.
up in the mid-80s to 90 guys have
yeah.
taken live reps.
Right, and that's a good thing because we don't have a lot of guys on IR.
Yep.
But, yeah, like I said, you just never know when that injury bug, hopefully it doesn't sneak up on us, knocking on wood, but you just never know. And you need that experience because it's next man up. And this is a good live venue for these guys to get these reps to see it so they are more prepared.
Well, as a playoff team, too, it doesn't mean always injuries either. If you get teams like the Dolphins or the Cincinnati Bengals or some of these teams, they churn that roster. They're trying to find guys that can play.
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
trying.
Right.
It's all about it. It's a scouting combine every week. They get a guy who comes in. How's
True.
he acclimate? What's he like? What's he doing? Is he better than that guy? Okay,
Right.
we'll keep him and throw that guy out. Get another one in.
Right.
That's what these teams. The Bills
Yeah.
have been victims of that in
I've been on
decades
teams
past.
that, you see 10 guys working out every Tuesday.
Right, that's exactly right. And it says something about the state of this team and the stability of it, that their roster has been so static throughout the regular season. Not only the health, but also the quality of the play.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
All
number
right, third
two.
thing. Second thing, execution.
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 Obviously we're going to have a lot of moving parts this weekend as far as guys playing special teams and now having to double on defense. And so just making sure guys get in and out of the huddle. No, we don't have to burn timeouts for stupid stuff. And then that we execute the game plan. Because you want to be able to make sure that your standard is still at a high level because we do want to go out there and win this game. And so even though we won't have our, starters, and I'm using air quotes because everybody's a starter in my mind, you want to make sure that we're able to execute and still play at a high level. And so we still have to set the tone as far as, getting off blocks, being physical at the line of scrimmage, tackling well, blocking well, catching the football, being on the same page and being able to communicate with guys. Because now you're going to be working with somebody that you may not have worked with for a long time or maybe not at all, especially like, back end communication, linebacker and safety talk. So you want to make all these things are in line because you don't want to give up, a stupid touchdown or a bad play because we weren't communicating well.
Right. All right. So the third thing, and it's the most obvious one, you got to stay healthy.
You got to stay healthy.
You want to show up in the playoffs ready to go.
Right. And this is probably one of the most important things is just making sure that guys get in, obviously get a sweat going, but then obviously being very strategic about, when you decide to pull guys or who plays, and so that we just come out and that we're healthy and ready to go for this first round of playoffs. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters because we all want a championship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, last show of the regular season, man. We're off to the playoffs. Congratulations.
Heck
Looking
yeah.
forward to it. Stay in one piece this weekend.
appreciate
Get the
it.
win.
Are we doing
It's
this in
been
the
awesome. Well, if we are, I don't know if you're going to show
Do we
up.
get a bonus in the Do I get a bonus in the playoff day? That's what I'm leading to. I'm just trying to get something. Maybe I get some playoff
We'll give you an
money.
extra bottle of water. All right. We're coming back with the bottom of the hour. We got Chill with the Bills, or Coffee with the Bills coming up at the bottom of the hour. Steve Tasker, Matty Glab on One Bills Live. Lorenzo, thanks for being here. We'll be right back. This is Buffalo Bills Radio.